some dirty grubby towels, and the washing powder is expensive today. So how about Morrisons' own brand from the Savers brand, 50 wash box of washing powder, biological laundry powder. Let's see how this goes, put it to a stain test, and give an overall review. And you're watching FlorenceBallardA3060 on film.
This is
FlorenceBallardA3060.
Doors will open on the right-hand side.
So guys, I know it's been a while since I've ever done a review, because there's not a lot of stuff to review really. So what I thought I'd do is I'd make this the last kind of one I do for detergent wise, because this Morrisons powder is kind of the last supermarket brand I have to review. And I've used their Savers powder before, smaller box, but I think they've changed the formula. It's concentrated formula now. It never used to be that way. This is the 50 wash box in a very small box. You'd normally have found the 22 washes in this type of box. Anyway, so it's effective on 30 degrees Celsius, which is what we're going to put to the test. Now what I'm also going to try with my reviews is just a thing where we get straight into it, not much talking, and that's it. So packaging wise, it kind of says it's for itself. It's got your Morrisons logo, big bold letters to tell you it's from the Savers range, and it's biological laundry powder. And it's got some nice folded white towels. Don't we love seeing some white towels there? Standard washes are 50 wash. Again, this differs depending on your water hardness and your load sizes. I think they tend to do it by like a standard, they do the standard of, based on the dose of normal soiling and medium water hardness. So for someone like me, I'm probably going to get about 30 out of that. So there's your instructions there. Pretty much all the same as other detergents. There's some ingredients there if anyone needs to look at those. I'll let you pause that. And of course the best bit, it's cruelty free. It is not tested on animals. I really like detergents that say that. Okay. So I'm going to open it up. Now normally a 50 wash box would be about that big back in the day. So it's got 17% less packaging. And it's new. So I remember when I tried the smaller box, it didn't really have much of a fragrance. Sadly, I could not get the Savers conditioner to go with it, and I didn't want to really get the conditioner. I kind of want to just do the powder on its own, which is what we're going to do in this wash. So it's time to crack this open and see how it smells. Okay, so this one is open left to right, and it's across the top, not around the side or a chute. So I'm going to see if this has any specks in it, because I've not noticed a lot of powders having that stuff in it. Why is my tripod so hard to turn? Right, let's go. Oh, yes, opens nicely. There we are. Oh, so we do have some blue specks in there. And it's almost a full box. There's about, could have gone a bit more. Let's have a little smell of this. Ooh, it's got very it definitely has a bit of a bleachy smell to it. It's stronger than I remember it, because I don't remember it being that strong. So it's a bit of a good sign. But we'll test that theory later. And of course, to close it, just pop it in there. So that's good. I've got that. That means I can store it without the fear of that popping open. Right, on to what we've got in this stain test. We've got a bit of a very tough stain test for this one. So, this blue towel is balsamic vinegar. This is a tough one. This is engine oil from my Mini. I use that as a rag to check the dipstick. That's been left to saturate on that for a bit, so that, if it can remove that, I'll be very amazed at that. This towel has got bits of glue, I think it is, or something like that on it. Looks like residue from glue. I think that's what it is. And just some plain dust on there as well. So that's that. And then of course this one has got some outdoor stains, wiping the railings on my balcony, and I even wiped the floor after it's been raining. So that's mud and all there. So you've got some outdoor stains, indoor mechanical car. And yeah, let's see how well this does. So of course, for those familiar with my channel, all the reviews are done in Mum's Miele W562 because this machine reflects basically what a modern machine would work like. If I use the one next to her, which is a Hotpoint 95 series from the 80s, that machine's a hot and cold fill, so it would render that test quite poor because you're already getting a high temperature, plus you can't do anything lower than 40 on that because it's hot and cold fill anyway, so it means the powder gets filled with 60 or 50 degree water anyway from the mains. Anyway, we will do this on, I will do this on a minimum iron 30 cycle because it kind of reflects more the cycles that people would use today. The reason I'm doing 30, I mean, I never do my, like, it's considered illegal in my house to do towels on, or anything on a 30 degree wash like that. Towels would always be boil washed, but we have to test it to today's standards because even 60 degrees people don't often use, like some people just bang stuff on 30. And I'm doing it because the detergent is claiming that it works on a 30 degree cycle. So rather than being like, oh yeah, but let's do it on a 60, you're like, okay, but that's not how it works. So let's have a look. In that goes, no colour-ons, no conditioner or anything with this, no fragrance boosters, just literally this. To make the test even fairer, I've rinsed out my detergent suit because that had probably some Ariel or something in there. So, and Tesco own powder, so I'll just make sure we don't have any contamination. Right, so for this load it's about 3 kilograms, I'm going to dose about 60 millilitres for hard water. So that's going to equivalent to that. There you go, it's about 60 millilitres there. And so you can actually see, I'll do the whole starting the cycle. Right, so you can see that I don't add anything else to it. That's going to go on to, we said minimum iron 30. No options, we want it to do 2 rinses only. I will do it on a short cycle though, again reflecting that people do short cycles. See how that performs. So the machine has reached 30 degrees Celsius. I'm just going to show there's literally very, very minimal level of suds. So that's one good thing about this detergent, is it's not going to foam up too much. And this is a cycle that uses more water and is more aggressive with the tumbling. A lot of detergents, like biological detergents, the enzymes are active at between 30 and 40 degrees. They're meant to work up to about a 60 degree range, and after that they don't really work, so that's one good thing about them. With this is the main wash after heating with full wash action. Can't see the stains yet though, or how well they've come out, so we'll check that later. So the machine does a cool down at the end of the main wash, so it lets us see a bit more of the water. See, there's not too much suds in there. Sadly though, I can't see the colour of the water, so I can't actually see if it, like, how much dirt is in there. So a little bit into the first rinse with a deep level, and you can see the amount of suds in here that's taken out. So sometimes you do get that with some detergents. Cycle doesn't also really do so much of a big spin, but it's the deep level rinsing will help. But sometimes in hard water areas it's harder to rinse out. You'll find in soft water areas it will foam up more on the main wash. But the next rinse is crucial because that's the final rinse, but we are not using conditioner. I'm just intrigued to see how that's going to smell. Yes, doing really good there. Detergents nowadays are designed to work more in cold water, so that's one other factor. Right, final rinses would normally be with conditioner, so there's still suds present, but not as much. So yeah, one thing you do tend to find with cheaper detergents is they don't rinse out as well. Now I always do my test with towels because they are the most absorbent thing and absorbent fabrics you can wash. If a detergent can pass with towels, you know it's going to work on stuff like clothes and whatnot. So, you know, I'm just making sure that that's okay. but that's it. You'd normally add, some people add white vinegar to this for towels, or you might add conditioner to normal load or whatever, or towels, so it's just showing that it would be a little less sudsier. Right, end of cycle. Bit of suds still on the door, so we know that that might be, as you can see there's some suds on the door. So that indicates that, yes, the rinsing might not have been the best. But anyway, let's do the fragrance and let's do a fragrance test. Okay, a naturally clean smell. These are still quite damp because they don't do a very fast spin on that cycle. So it still has a bit of those on it. Glue and whatnot. Okay, I mean, oh, that stuff's just packed. Right, okay, so it's rinsed out the residue, but the bits of it that are just stuck to it, they're fine, so it has passed on that one. This was balsamic vinegar, I think it was. All clean. No fragrance on there of that. What was this? This was the outdoor one, wasn't it? So these are just old rags and towels I used. Yep, that is... Ah, hang on. Ooh. Do see some remains there though. It did get that again though, it's because of course it's at 30 degrees. And this was the engine oil one. Okay, it's done relatively well, apart from the fact there is still some staining. Again, on a normal hot wash, I'd boil wash towels, probably get a bit of a better result. But it's done well for a 30 degree cycle. What we're going to do now is bung that lot through the tumble dryer and see if the fragrance still remains afterwards. Again, I will show you proof that I do not use tumble dryer sheets. I don't believe in using them anyway, really. So there's no additional fragrance. It's literally all just the powder. To show we are in the dryer, drying nicely. Yes, it's hot bloody rain out here. It's about 30 minutes on high heat. You can see this thing through. Jesus. And once that dries, we can tell if the dryer, if the fragrance affects, well, gets affected by the dryer. This rain is atrocious. You might be able to see that. Alright, so this load has just come out of the dryer. Let's give, so it's quite soft, it's dried quite nicely. Okay. The fragrance doesn't really last. I think it's a bit more prominent on this towel. To be damp dry stuff, some of these are damp dried, it does last, but this one's a bit more drier. I can't really smell it, unfortunately. However, in a normal wash you probably would have added conditioner or something to boost that fragrance, but on its own the powder doesn't really have any fragrance to it. Do you find with the store brands, they sometimes tend to be a little bit less on their perfume. It's good for people who don't like fragrance or artificial fragrances, so that's one bonus for that. I myself prefer having a fragrance, but that's why I use stuff like fragrance boosters in the wash and that sort of stuff. Overall, I don't think it's done too bad, but I think it could be better in some ways. I'll just do a final conclusion on it now. Alright, so what do I think to Morrisons Savers Biological Laundry Powder? Well, I say it does what it needs to do for the price you pay. You pay £4.30 for this. It's a 50 wash box. Again, the stated number of washes on there is not exactly what you're going to get. It depends how much you're having to use in each load and your water hardness, the size of the load you're doing. Plus, if you do pre-wash stuff like that, you're going to probably use a lot more up. With me, on average, I'd get about 25 to 30 out of that kind of a wash. I mean, detergent's not as cheap as it used to be. Something like this a couple of years ago, you probably would have paid something about, I'd say about £3 for, maybe. Something like that, you would have paid even one time £2.50 or so for it, and that's £4.30 for it. So the thing is, when you think about it, there are some brands like Daz that you could probably buy for roughly the same amount, or if not a little bit, like £4.50 or so, £5. Considering now, like Tesco, brands like Tesco and all pushing for their club cards. You've got Sainsbury's pushing with their Nectar cards. So you do actually save when you buy these detergents. However, these are not on the special offers because they're already discounted as being part of their Savers brand. So there would be a conditioner to go with this, but it wasn't in the store available. However, Morrisons do their own brands of conditioners. You get like Pure or Sensitive. You know, Blue Sky, I think it is, and Summer Breeze, the sort of standard ones you get from other leading brands like Lenore and Comfort, but they come in the bottles are about that big. But this powder, I say, look, I use these powders in the machines that I test when I bring a machine and film it and whatnot, and then fix it up. So it's a good powder for something that's going to be used a lot. And I say if the brand detergents have got like Ariel, Persil for the machines that actually recommend it, because I'm very sparing on those. But overall, it's not done a bad job. I mean, you know, I'm testing it to the standards of today's machines of having 2 rinses and, you know, and using it on a 30 cycle. That would have done much better on, say, a 60 or a 90 or so. But not many people. Well, I'm not saying people don't use them, but not many people will always consider using higher temperatures, which is unfortunate because it's better for your machine and it's better for your clothes. No matter how much these detergents say, oh, we work at 30 degrees, but at that temperature, you're not killing bacteria. You're actually multiplying it, because also sometimes you'll find that these powders don't dissolve at that temperature and you get that build up in your machine. But no, I say what's nice about it is it's a 50 wash box, but it comes in a much smaller, easy to store box, so you don't have to lug around a big box if you're storing it in a cupboard somewhere. Yeah, it's good, and it cuts down all the packaging waste. So overall, I think it's in savers, you know, saving you price. It's also saving you all the packaging material that it has. So would I recommend it? Yes, I would say it is amongst one of the detergents I recommend. Sometimes you'll find store brand detergents are better to go for, and in one of these cases I'd probably say it's a good price for what Morrisons have to offer, because in their price now, like Ariel or like £11, especially if you don't have a way of saving on that, I wouldn't pay that much for any detergent. But something that just needs to get the job done. If you're not really fussed on fragrances and you've got stuff like fragrance enhancers and conditioner and all, go for it. So I'll put it in my link. I'll link it in my description below. You can have a little look at that, and also browse some other laundry range from Morrisons. I hope that helps, guys. And I don't know what I'll review next, but you know, I might go on to some other things apart from just powders, because I've kind of done everything now. I don't really want to go on to liquid because I get stuck with a bottle of liquid and whatnot. But no, it's been good doing some of these things, and yes, these towels will be thrown straight back into the dirty laundry to be properly washed and well washed. So, hope you enjoyed that, guys, and I hope that's helped you. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to keep it supreme and go with the flow.